It's a slow morning for this shop on Taiwan's outlying Kinmen Islands, with only one Taiwanese tour group here to try its traditional noodles. The store used to be much busier, with customers coming not just from Taiwan, but also from China. But around 5 years ago, because of COVID-19 and Cross-Strait tensions, Chinese tourists stopped coming to Kinmen, meaning this shop went from seeing over 100 Chinese customers a day to none at all.
其实我们岛上的居民，大家都在等陆客重启开放的这一天。
Kinmen was a battleground decades ago when Chinese communist forces fought against the nationalist army that fled to Taiwan. The islands remained on the front lines of simmering tensions for decades. But it was also one of the first parts of Taiwan where Chinese people could travel directly. Although Kinmen is governed by Taiwan, it's geographically much closer to China. At its closest point, it's only around 3.5 kilometers away. In 2001, limited transportation, trade, and postal connections, called the 3 mini links, made it possible for Chinese tourists to start visiting Kinmen. Over the years, the number of Chinese people coming to Kinmen grew, peaking at around 400,000 in 2019. But after the 3 mini links were shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, that number dropped to 0. Kinmen relies on tourism as one of its main sources of income. And in 2019, Chinese tourists brought an estimated $90 million. So when they stopped coming, many businesses here struggled. This fried chicken shop lost around 70% of its income.
陆客他们就很喜欢台湾的小吃，比如说卤肉饭、炸鸡、鸡排、或者是珍珠奶茶。当然还是因为有在地的，但陆客就是他们消费力比较强啊。
In August, Kinmen officials went to China to try and ease travel restrictions. And finally, in late September, China's government announced tourists from its Fujian province could return. But a few weeks later, only around 400 have come, not enough to make any real difference for many businesses. Some local officials say that's because the process for Chinese tourists to get here is more complicated than it was before the pandemic, requiring them to apply for a permit in advance, involving a travel agency and multiple government offices. From where I'm standing in Kinmen, you can visibly see the Chinese city of Xiamen right behind me. It's that close. Chinese tourists can cross these waters in around 30 minutes to an hour by ferry. Because of its closeness, many in Kinmen feel that tourism from China is their most realistic option.
陆客离我们最近嘛，我们不能舍近求远，远的不来，我们近的也不要，我们要靠什么生存？
Shen Xiuhua, a sociologist who researches Kinmen, says it's also China's large population that people feel could benefit business.
大部分金门人在想象那个经济发展的时候，是非常以中国的市场为想象，他很难去想象其他地方会来一下子那么多。可是厦门就是这么近。
Kinmen's leaders believe the county's history has helped to get through the tough times of the past few years.
金门以前都是苦过来的，都知道怎么样在最艰难的这种情况之下，可以好好的去survive。这段时间虽然是一个很辛苦的时间，但是其实也带来了一些契机跟改变。
Some Kinmen businesses that were affected by the absence of Chinese tourists found alternative ways to make money, selling their products differently or creating new ones altogether.
冷水的时候，茶包丢下去煮，煮滚就可以喝。
This Chinese medicine shop, which has been around for nearly 200 years, started selling its products online during the pandemic.
疫情开始之后，一些那个网络的，还有那个电商更多反而这段时间的话，把一些带动起来，就是网络订货更多。
Some also use this time to get ready for when Chinese tourists could come back, like shifting to online payments instead of cash. But there were also businesses in Kinmen that weren't really affected at all. Wang Ling has started several businesses here, including a guest house, a tea house that has since closed, and this gift shop. But most of her customers are from Taiwan and other countries, not from China. She thinks Kinmen should look beyond Chinese tourists.
我当然觉得金门应该要抛开这个想象，而是你的经济来源、你的客户来源应该要从世界各地四面八方的地方过来。
And Kinmen is looking for these kinds of opportunities to expand tourism. One local Kinmen official said he's thought about collaborating with Chinese officials to market Kinmen as a day trip that foreign tourists could take while they're in Xiamen. While many in Kinmen are holding on to hope that throngs of Chinese tourists will soon return, some on these small islands are looking farther to attract interest from other corners of the world. Ryan Wu, Pichi Chuang, and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.